Hi, and welcome to Wellness Possibilities with Monica Fuss. I'm Monica Fuss, your wellness coach and sailor, helping you to sail to the smoother waters of healthier living. Today, in part 6 of our series, Fixing Your Foods, we're going to talk about considering supplementation. Now, I know if you've been incorporating what I've talked about in parts 1 through 5, that you are probably getting some amazing results already. But you just might want to consider supplementing for some deficiencies that you might have, or maybe even just to make your life easier. Now, one thing that I've thought about a lot is why I supplement is partially because the foods that I eat, I know that our soils in America and our farming, they've been over farmed, and the soil is deficient in a lot of vitamins and minerals, nutrients for those plants. So I know I would have to eat a whole lot more today of fruits and vegetables to get the same amount of nutrition as my great grandmother would have had to have eaten back in her day 100 years ago. And there's studies that have shown that that's really the case, that they have proven that. So it's to the point where supplementation is not just a recommendation these days. The doctors and nutritionists that I'm working with, they're telling me it's actually a requirement for healthy living. So supplements, we need to remember, supplements, just like our foods, need to follow the same rules. Part 1, we talked about cutting the sugar. Well, even for our supplements, we need to make sure that our supplements, whether they're powdered or pill form, that they don't have, we take a look at those ingredients, we turn the bottle over and we look at those ingredients and we make sure that there's no sugar, whether it's has maltodextrin in it or fructose or the other forms of sugar names, and also any other ingredients that turn to sugar, like the grains, like corn and wheat. We want to make sure those are not included in those supplements. Part 2, we talked about cranking up the good fat. And so also in our supplements, not just our foods, we want to make sure that they don't have any of the bad fats in them, because poor quality supplements can oftentimes be loaded with seed oils or soybean oil or rancid fish oils. So we want to avoid those. So make sure they have the good fats, if they have any fats in them. And thirdly, we want to make sure that our supplementation is we're cleaning up the toxins out of even our supplements, not just our foods. We want to avoid all the artificial everything. We want to avoid the toxic dyes, the artificial colors and flavors and sweeteners. We want to make sure that there's no soy in them or whey protein from non-grass-fed cows, or even whey isolates, because they can be highly processed and contain heavy metals. And fourthly, when we're looking at supplements, we want to make sure that they cram in more nutrients, just like our food. We want to make sure that they come from real food and that there's no gluten or wheat or dairy or genetically modified ingredients in there. We want to use the same guidelines for our supplements as we do our foods. We want high quality, real ingredients. So now let's talk about what are some of the other individuals supplements we might want to consider. Okay, so first, let's talk about a multivitamin. So a multivitamin, preferably with minerals. We want to make sure that we are avoiding toxic additives, colors, and sugars in them. And if it has any B vitamins in them, which it should have, make sure that the B vitamins are in methylated form, because they absorb the very best into your body. Some individual vitamins we want to consider is vitamin D. Now, if you went to the doctor, they're most likely, when they prescribe a D vitamin, it's usually a synthetic vitamin, a D2, but D3 is the healthy form that we want. And because D vitamin is fat soluble, you want to make sure that when you take it, you want to take it with some healthy fats, So usually when we have your meal, so it will most absorb. And the other fat soluble vitamins, A, E, and K, you want to make sure that you're taking them with food, with healthy fats. So because they're fat absorbed and they absorb into your fat. And so they work it synergistically together. Talking about fats, let's talk about omegas. So if you get your omega vitamins from a fish source, you want to make sure that it's a freshwater fish and its naturally occurring triglyceride form. But if it's a vegan source, you want to make sure that, or any source, you want to make sure that it's a high dose of of omega-3s, because that cuts down on inflammation. And you want to watch out for those toxic additives and colors and bad fats in the omegas. Greens, oh my goodness, we need to supplement our greens. I don't know about you, but I cannot eat enough salad. I feel like a rabbit when I'm eating all of that lettuce and kale and spinach. I need supplementation. And there's a lot of vegetables that I don't like. So I choose a greens powder that doesn't contain any kind of sugar or forms of sugar. You know, those other words for sugar that end in ose, like fructose, saccharose, all the oses, or maltodextrin, or any other additives. But I make sure that I use one that's as organic as possible, with a wide range of fruits and vegetables and all the different colors of the rainbow, fruits and vegetables. Now, what about collagen? Collagen is a good thing just to supplement with as well, because collagen, as we age, is depleted in our body, and we need and collagen is what supports our nails, healthy nails, our hair, and our skin, and it also repairs our gut and our joints. So if we have some doctors and nutritionists I talk to, they want me to use an animal source collagen. And so if something like bone broth or something like that, so just make sure that if you use something, an animal-based collagen, that it is like a grass-fed, free-range animal that it's coming from. And whether if it's a plant source, or the source that I use is not really, it's not a collagen that I take in, but it is actually a supplement that causes my body to create more than it has been. So even though I've aged and it's gone down, so I drink this supplement that actually increases how much collagen my body will create. And I make sure that it doesn't have any sugars in it. Now, what about probiotics? We hear a lot about probiotics these days. Yes, I supplement with a probiotic, but I also make sure that my probiotic has a prebiotic with it and digestive enzymes, to just make sure that they are getting my probiotics, that the good bacteria that I'm putting in my body is getting the supplementation, the food that it needs, the prebiotics that it needs to be healthy and outnumber the bad bacteria in my body. And the best source for probiotics is really from raw foods, and supplemented foods like kombucha, sauerkraut, apple cider vinegar. Those are some places you can find probiotics in natural foods. And calcium, particularly. Now, most people don't need to supplement in calcium, but if you're a vegan or vegetarian, you just may need to supplement. And older women a lot of times need to supplement their calcium to help with bone strength. So make sure that it's not only calcium, but it has a balance of minerals, and that it includes magnesium and vitamin D and vitamin K also, but make sure it includes the other kinds of minerals, not just calcium. And other supplements you might want to consider is vitamin C and turmeric, zinc, and magnesium. Now, what is it that I do? I think I've told you a couple of things the vitamins that I use, but I also use a vegan pea protein that is supplemented within there with over 20 vitamins and minerals. Plus I take the a multivitamin mineral powder that is sourced from whole foods. Like I had mentioned earlier, all the colors of the rainbow kind of fruits and vegetables in it, a lot of things that I don't like to eat. So there's a little trick right there to make it eat. Supplementation makes life easier for me to get what I need. And I also mentioned about the collagen builder, collagen support builder that I take. So as you continue your health journey, continue taking those baby steps, those little steps, and develop habits and start replacing your bad foods and bad supplements with the healthier foods like we've talked about in part 1 through part 5. And just changing your thinking and fixing your foods, you have the possibility of bringing massive transformation and even inspiring results for your body and for your health journey. So in this series of fixing your food, we haven't talked about everything that you can do to sail to the healthier you, but it's a good start. So I ask you to comment below because I would love to hear some of your wins, things that you've implemented that I've made a suggestion on, and also share your challenges and allow me an opportunity to work with you to help you overcome those challenges. And while you're at it, share this video with some of your friends who are ready to make some healthy changes in their bodies and take baby step by baby step to a healthier journey for themselves. So thanks for being here. Until next time, God bless.